During the 2023-24 school year, Parkhurst participated in multiple AP pilot programs, including AP Precalculus. That AP course has replaced the standard level one. Like many other students who registered for Precalculus last year, junior Corinna Otis was surprised when she saw an AP class instead of the standard level one she was expecting.
The fact is that the on-target math, I was thrown into an AP class when I've never been an AP student. I barely made it past advanced algebra, and that was moving too fast. So when you put a bunch of kids who have never taken AP classes or should never be in AP classes because they don't learn that fast, they don't learn that way, like me, I don't learn that way, it kind of sets us to struggle and drown in it and all the work. And like pre-calculus is already like a really hard math to be in, and then adding like someone with learning disabilities like me who takes extra time and then not getting like all the help because the class sizes are so big, it just kind of sets a bunch of kids up for failure.
Junior Josie Heckman believes it was unfair and unwise for the school to make everyone who wanted to take pre-calculus take the AP version instead.
When you force kids to do that without like giving them another option except to like go back to where they were, I think that's just it's setting them up for failure even before the classes have even started. We're just having to struggle with this for this year, and it's going to bring people's grades down, their GPAs down, like everything. I don't know. I think my biggest critique too is that like they should give kids the option. It's impossible to force a bunch of kids that have never taken an AP before into an AP class. And math is just like the hardest subject for like me personally, but like a lot of people. I know I'm not the only one.
Like many students who didn't want to take AP Precalculus in the first place, Otis found herself looking for other options.
The only other option that I got was like I'd either have to take one semester of online pre-calculus, and that was already like I'd have to redo the entire semester, and then I'd have to go back to advanced algebra with a bunch of sophomores, and that was the only other option. Otherwise, drop the class and have to take it again next year.
According to Heckman, class size is a major factor in her ability to learn.
Like a month ago, I failed the test and I had to like sit down one-on-one with my teacher, and it was probably the most I've ever learned in that class because so many people are asking questions at the same time in like during the class, so no one ever has time for her to come around like because she's working with so many other students, so it's hard to like really
While
learn.
This new AP Precalculus course is difficult for students, Heckman also knows it's hard on the teachers.
I think it's tough on the teachers too because it's their first year teaching it. They don't know what they're like doing. I think they went and learned it this summer. So I think I don't know how it is for them to teach. I'm not a teacher, but it's a bad system if it's everyone's first year doing this.
With any AP course, taking the exam is not required, but it is heavily encouraged. Pre-calculus is no different. Both Otis and Heckman have decided to take the exam this year.
My pre-calculus class, she's doing, you either take the AP test and it doesn't affect your grade whatsoever, or if you choose not to, you take a test that is equally as hard and it affects your grade actually. So she wants everyone to take the AP test, but I know, because like if you fail it, it doesn't matter. But like, she wants everyone to take that, but if you don't have the money or something like that, then you have to take the regular test, and if you fail that, then you fail the class. So it's like, that's a little like iffy to me, but it's also like I'm not prepared for it at all, but I'm paying to take it so that it doesn't affect my actual grade.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too, and I think it's like that for every AP class. But I don't know. I mean, I have 2 other APs besides my math one, so I'm probably going to focus on those 2 more than the other one that I've learned nothing about throughout this whole year. I'm going to try and focus on the psych one and the A-push one for me.
While both Heckman and Otis have taken other AP classes, an AP math class feels like a whole other world.
Well, AP Psych, she's very, like, in AP Psych, it's very understanding, and it's also, like, if you have a question, you can, like, just look up, and it will give you the direct answer to the question. Math, you can't do that. It's a lot of it's you got to figure it out on your own. Like, in Psych, you also, like, you got a choice to not take Psych, or when you want to take Psych. So, like, the classes aren't as big, and she'll help you out. And you can also, like, always look up the answers. There's videos on it, but yes, there's videos on math, but there's not a lot on your specific problem. You can't just Google the question and get an answer. Like, that's not really how it works. So,
Yeah, I think math, a lot of other classes are like memorization. Math, that's not memorization. That's you get the numbers and you got to figure out how to do it. You have to know the steps. And I don't know, I haven't learned the steps. So, yeah, no, I don't know. And, like, again, what you were saying, like, AP Psych, like, that's something I wanted to do. That's something I wanted to do. It's not, like, I don't know. Math, instead of math, I was just thrown into it.
In giving advice for the next year of AP Pre-Calculus students, both Heckman and Otis recommend taking advantage of any resource available.
I would say get a tutor. I take a lot of notes, and you practice as hard as you can. And if you have questions, yeah, like Josie said, stay after. But my thing is get a tutor, take notes, do the homework, and like really like pay attention, because the moment you zone out, that's where you miss a whole unit. Once you stop turning in work in that class, once you zone out one thing, you're behind for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Like, I missed a couple days in September, and all of a sudden I didn't know what we were doing, because we have, like, lessons every day, new things every day.
And it builds
so hard.
It builds on
Yeah.
top of each other. So if you miss one thing, one lesson, you're going to be behind because you didn't learn the foundation, I guess, of the rest of the class.
Like, the workload, we have new things every day, while in regular math we would have, like,
At least like a week or
a
two.
week or two to practice on one subject.
We get new subjects every week.
day.
Every day.
Every day, like
every day.
4 days out of the 5-day week. So
We get one work day if we're lucky. Also, like, we don't get any time to work on our homework in class. It's like, or ask help or anything like that. It's a for me personally, in my class, it's a lecture the entire, until the first bell to the last bell.
According to Otis, she feels that the school cares more about optics than... According to Otis, she feels the school has put more weight into optics than how well students are actually doing, and whether or not they were prepared for the AP course.
There's a lot to improve on. And I think the class right now is just not the best that it can be. It's far from the best that it can be. And I feel as though it was, the critique of the class that I have also is that it was forced, and that we have a lot of work to do on it, because right now it kind of is just setting kids up for failure. So basically that class needs to go back into workshop. way back into workshop. They put the AP title on there to make our classes look more inclusive, and that our AP, like make our school basically look better. But I feel as though, like, taking away the AP title, or at least not pacing it as an AP class, it would have been a lot better. And, like, if they really wanted the AP title, if they should have just paced it as a normal class, or just put a pre-calculus option. Because, like, you can learn it all, but then just take away the AP title. Like, we could have just had a pre-calculus, AP pre-calculus, and then... I also feel like it's not fair to the kids with learning disabilities. They didn't think of the kids with learning disabilities in mind, like, at all. Like, that class is not set up for kids with learning disabilities. And they didn't... Whoever made up put the AP thing in AP pre-calculus as the only option, clearly was not thinking of a big chunk of the students at SLP, and that they also need to workshop making it more accessible for everybody to learn, because everybody learns differently, and not a lot of kids can stay engaged for our classes are 50 minutes, a 50-minute long lecture. What looks good is kids coming out learning and succeeding. Kids just being in AP classes doesn't boost the credibility of your school. What boosts the credibility of your school is kids actually learning things, wanting to come in and, like, coming out, like, saying that I've learned something today, not that they were, like, going home crying because they can't understand math.